Welcome to the Scary Spirits Podcast. Please be advised that the presenters may use adult language and/or discuss adult situations. This podcast is not intended for younger listeners or those that may be easily offended. So, if you're ready, let's go.
Hi, I'm Greg.
Hey, I'm Karen.
And welcome to Scary Spirits Podcast Reviews, where we review a film that is either in the theaters now or soon to be in the theaters or soon to be available for streaming. How are you, Karen?
I'm feeling very special today, Greg.
How are you? Why, Karen?
Well, how often do you get to review a movie that's not even out yet?
This is my first time, Karen.
I know. So don't you feel special? And you get to be with me.
There is that as well.
So aren't you feeling special?
Absolutely.
Actually, it's very exciting.
So what film are we reviewing this week, Karen?
We have the honor of reviewing The Heir of the Witch.
Heir of the Witch.
Not the kind you breathe, the kind you birth.
With an H. Heir with an H. And we should say right up front here that we were given a free screener copy to view. So we're not being compensated other than we got to watch it for free, correct?
Unless we were compensated and you didn't tell me.
Moving on.
But it's a full-length film.
It is. Film comes out August 4th, 2023. So if you're listening to this in 2025, go back and look for it. But it comes out August 4th, 2023.
Streaming, correct?
Streaming, correct, yeah.
Does it say where?
I assume wherever you can stream films, Karen. All the major streaming platforms, I would assume. But no, they did not specify.
Well, I'm sure if you use the old Google, they'll tell you where to go.
You can Google it now, and it's already there. It's already on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes and everything, although no one has reviewed it yet. So there are no reviews that you can look at.
Ooh.
Or ratings.
Feel the power.
It was released by Pasha Entertainment. So they're the ones that reached out to us and asked us to review it and offered to send us a free screener. So we should thank them, Karen, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Pasha Entertainment,
for finding our little podcast and making us feel special.
Yes. Might you have a brief synopsis of the film, Karen?
Well, before we start that, we should probably tell the listeners how we're going to do it, which basically we're going to
tell, Karen.
Well, I know we're kind of winging it, but we don't want to give away any spoilers.
No, this will be spoiler free as much as I can.
As much as we can. We're not going to tell you things that happen. And we're going to say what we kind of liked and I guess didn't like, if you want to say those things, without spoiling anything for you.
Correct.
And we expect you'll have your own opinions anyway. So once you listen to us, go watch it anyway, and then let us know what you think.
Yeah. Do you think we're
brilliant
or wrong? All right. That being said, Karen, do you have a brief synopsis?
I do.
Go on. Tell me a story.
Heir of the Witch. An underprivileged seamstress, haunted by her past, seeks love and acceptance in high society, but is faced with a curse from her evil roots.
Thank you, Karen, for that brief synopsis. I would say it's accurate. It did come from the production company.
Yes, so that's helpful.
You did shorten it quite a bit. There's a lot more to the one in their media kit or whatever.
But that pretty much sums it up without spoilers.
It does sum it up without spoiling. Yeah, I agree.
So you're starting with a woman who has less money than other people, but wants a family and love, but has this little issue of a curse in her background.
Yeah, not sure why she's all looking for acceptance in high society, but whatever.
Yeah, it seems like a challenge.
Keep reaching for the stars. Right, Karen?
Would seem a little out of my reach, but
No, but I can't blame a girl for trying, right?
exactly. So we'll start by saying it's based on, or at least loosely based on, Moldovan folklore.
Correct. The writer and director of this independent film, Victoria Bell, she is Moldovan. And it's kind of based on her family, right?
That's what it said in what they sent, the packet they sent us, loosely based on her family experiences.
Yeah, her grandmother,
which once you see this is a little, what's the right word? You think your family history is bad, this might top it a little bit.
Yeah, so apparently her grandmother on her paternal side was a witch.
A powerful one, according to her.
Yes, and Victoria was told that she sold her soul to the devil.
The grandmother.
Yes. So I guess that's what prompted her to write the story. And Victoria's father abandoned them when she was very young, and that kind of comes into play in the film, but not quite the way it is written.
Yes, so she says in that same packet, it says she drew from her experiences and her dreams and her fears about this grandmother that she had. So the Moldovan folklore, and I'm going to butcher this word, but we're going to try to say it. The Strigojko is a witch.
You did pretty good, Karen, I think.
And it's a creature which appears as a result of an unnatural violent death. And it's said that those who died a bad death were to come back and haunt the living. They emerge from their graves in order to torment their families until their relatives die. The curse has been passed down through generations only by female with the blood of the young and the willingness to accept and wield the power that precedes it. So either you accept the power or you deny the power, because it also says, then there are those that face their dreadful fate by rejecting it. So
Yes.
That's kind of the premise of the whole movie.
Yeah, that's pretty much the opening of the film.
And those words are there, yes, when the film opens. But that's not spoiler, that's background.
True.
A lot of the film, I think it bounces back between the present and memories. So you get a lot of the backstory through flashbacks. So you're watching the present, wondering what she is so afraid of. And if I was her, I would be afraid to go to sleep. That's all I'm going to say. The main character is a woman, and she pretty much is in almost every scene of the movie.
Is the woman who portrays the main character is the director and writer of the film as well, Victoria Bell.
But I don't think she's not in many scenes at all. So she's
not. There are a few. There are a few that she's not in, but she is in, I would say, 90% of them.
But as she goes through the story in the present, you learn about things that happen to her through flashbacks or dreams. I guess what I'm trying to say is you don't get all the backstory right up front. You get it throughout the film.
Yeah. We learn a little more as the film progresses about her
and
backstory.
She is a seamstress. And I will tell you one thing that I noticed right away. So she's magic with her sewing machine, and she has a lot of rich clients, which you learn from this summary. And she makes beautiful clothes, but she doesn't wear them. I kept thinking, why is she wearing peasant clothes when, she's making these beautiful clothes? But it does get explained to you.
It does.
So, because at first you're thinking she's very, plain isn't the right word, but rather, what's a non-fancy? What's a word for non-fancy? Simple clothing. But that was one thing I was curious about. There was that dichotomy there of what she was wearing versus what she was making.
Right.
Another thing I found curious, or at least extremely interesting, there was a picture of her family in the house. And everyone is looking at the camera in the picture except the grandmother, who is turned away from the camera.
It's the back of her head with.
Yes.
Apparently she's wearing like a shawl or a scarf or something.
She looks like a babushka, what we would call her a babcia from my Polish roots. Yeah. The kind of old woman that would sweep the sidewalks.
Okay.
That's her outfit.
In that scene, we learned she did not like to be photographed. She didn't want her image on film, right?
Maybe as a photographer, it just caught my eye.
Yeah.
Just thought it was interesting.
It's intriguing.
And there are those people that say that being photographed steals your soul.
Steals your soul. Yes, Karen.
So I didn't know if it was that or something else. But
that means you're a soul stealer, isn't it?
Yes. It's how I retain my youth. So are there some things that you liked about the film that you can say?
There are. There were some nice shots, some good camera work in it.
I agree. A lot of good shadow work too, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
That was very effective. It wasn't used a lot. It was used enough, but it was very effective.
The special effects in general, I thought were good. The makeup, I thought in general was very good.
The quality of the film was good.
It was for an independent film. It's pretty good quality. I didn't see any boom mics, Karen. Did you?
Right. No, and I thought the sets were effective.
Yeah, there's not many.
There's not a lot of them, but
that should make no difference, right? Because there's been some great films that take place in one room, the whole film. Right. So
no, but they got the dichotomy of her home versus the homes that she worked in and things like that was effectively shown, I thought.
Yeah, it was. I mean, her home was pretty nice, though.
It was middle class.
It wasn't her home, though, right? So we can't really say it was her home, where she lived. Where she lived. Before I realized that, I was thinking, well, she doesn't look to be hurting for money. I thought she was what did you say? Underprivileged seamstress. But then I realized, oh, okay, so this is a family member's house that she is staying in. So it kind of made sense. The other thing I noticed, and I don't know if it means anything because I'm not big on symbolism, she was barefoot. A lot of the scenes, there were bare feet. And I don't know if that's supposed to mean something. I think what I remember from high school is that meant something like being grounded to the earth or at one with nature or something like that. But I don't know. I don't know if that was a conscious choice or not, but I did notice it, that she was barefoot a lot. And they showed it. Now that you mention it. Yeah. The cast is kind of small, which is fine because I could keep track of who was who easily. Mm-hmm. I thought the kids, there were a couple kids in the film. Yeah, the littlest girl was very good, I thought. I thought they were all good. Good creepy kids. Yeah. I thought the kids in the film were really, really good. And I think the flashbacks that show her as a small child look like her enough that, could have grown into her. And her mother resembled her too, enough that there was thought put into it. It wasn't haphazard at all, I didn't think. Yeah. You could see where, connections. Special effects, like you mentioned, I thought were really good. Yeah. Special effects and makeup, especially for an independent film, I thought were very good. And the way they filmed those were good too. Yep. The shots they used. They didn't overdo it, but it was definitely there. In spots, there was a lot of blood. Yes. Which didn't bother me at all. If you're looking for gore, there's a little gore. There's a little gore. There's a little sexual content. Nudity as well. Yes, some sexual content. I wasn't mad at. Was there swearing? Yes, there was swearing, but not a lot. But I would say enough so that it made an impact. So you realize, oh, he said a bad word. He must be serious, right? Yes. As opposed to other films where every other word is fuck or whatever, and that just gets old and boring real quick, at least for me. So would you give it, if it was going to come up on Amazon, we'd give it a 13 plus for violence, nudity, sexual content, or situations. I don't know how swearing is. Did they say something about that? And there was drinking, language, but not excessive, except in maybe flashbacks or something. But the films we've watched before, it doesn't take a lot to get that's true branded as something. So there was language, foul language, I think is what it said. Oh, that's it. Yes, foul language, nudity, sexual content, violence, alcohol use. And that's all I can think of. Yeah. Or maybe disturbing sequences. Sometimes they say that. Yeah, they do.
So it has all the good ones.
Yeah, a lot of them.
There's definitely, this is a bit of a spoiler, but there is definitely sequel potential.
There is. And I knew you would enjoy that.
Which I do enjoy.
Can we at least say that there is a twist, just like in most horror films of recent release? There's a twist.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a good twist.
I wasn't expecting it, but then once it happened, I'm like, oh yeah, it's got to be a twist, right?
See, because Greg's a little slow.
I'm simple like that. I'm just going with it. Take me where thou wilt.
Hold my hand. I'll go with you.
Exactly.
Is there anything you didn't like?
We talked about the cast earlier, and most of them are very good. There are a couple I think may have been miscast.
Okay.
Should I say in particular who?
You can. I don't think that spoils anything.
I think her father and her as a child. Even though the little girl actress is very good, she didn't have quite the correct accent.
Oh, but looks
like her mother did.
Yes. But
looks wise, yes, it was very good.
But the accent's going to come from both parents.
And the reason I didn't like Dad is because he didn't have an accent much. So
well, I think
he didn't look.
I thought he was American or something.
Oh, he could have been, but he definitely looked American.
So I thought it was a mixed.
Could have been. Maybe
marriage.
I'm assuming too much, Karen.
Some of the characters, I will say, I felt were a little one-dimensional, but it's to get a point across, and it's effective. And
I think there might be too many. You already said there is a small cast, but there might be a couple too many. You know,
because you don't have time to go with backstories.
Right?
How did they meet? Why are they together? Or those kind of things. I think there are some loose ends. I can't reveal anything without, but I will say I felt like once you see the twist, there are things that happened that we don't see explanations for, which I don't know if they had those and there wasn't time. It only runs an hour and 30 minutes.
Like hour 33, I think.
Something like that. So I think they were kind of trying to keep in that time frame, I would bet, is their goal.
I agree.
So I don't think the story suffers, but I think some of the characters do.
I enjoyed the story.
Very much. I like witchy things, so I'm all in.
Yeah, once it was over, I'm like, well, I was getting it. I mean, so we've already said there's a twist. I mean, right before the twist, it was losing me. I was clocking out until that happened. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, okay. Because I had lots of questions previous to the twist about why
certain things were happening.
This.
Yes.
Right. Why do we need this person or that person? Right.
Or why would this be happening in the first place?
Yeah.
So it does I think it sets it up nicely because you're wondering.
Yeah. Once it,
well, why you're going with it because, it's well done. You're thinking, well, okay, yeah, sure. That could happen, but in the back of your mind, there's this little niggle, why is that?
Why is this guy needed? Why is this situation needed? But then it all comes
together
at the end.
Like I said, with a couple missing, like a couple things, explanations missing, but overall,
for you, Karen, I wasn't missing anything. At the end, I'm like, oh, okay, well, that ties it up in a nice little bow.
It does, but I'll explain it to him when we get off air.
Yes, please, Karen, explain it to me because you know how
slowly
simple I am. Yeah. Speak slowly. But I didn't hate it, right?
Oh, overall, I liked it. I walked away, or
I would have liked to seen it with I'm sure a larger budget than it had.
I could have seen more of it. I could have seen, like I said, more information. But it's an independent film, and I'm sure they had a certain amount of money and a certain amount of time and all of that. So I think it's a good thing that I would have liked more.
Yeah, we should say that this is from, like we said, Pasha Entertainment. I'm assuming I'm saying that right. And this is their first feature film. And actually, Victoria Bell is one of the founders of Pasha Entertainment.
And she's a good actress.
She is.
I don't know how hard it is to direct yourself.
Yeah, I know.
I would find that difficult. It would go either one of two ways, right?
Yeah,
oh my God,
I would think
suck. Look at how, oh my
Yes,
God, or nailed it.
Yeah, the dailies, as they call them in the industry,
Look
might
at
suck.
you, Greg. Yeah, dailies.
Like when you're reviewing the day's footage and you're like, okay, is there something there we can keep? I assume was what they do, and it would be hard to not be too judgmental on yourself, I think.
Or the other extreme of, yeah, I don't need to do that again. That was awesome. That would not be me. I would be picking apart every single thing. But I wonder how difficult it is to do that.
Yeah.
Not only just in that way, but physically.
I would have to have someone else.
I agree. I would too.
Or a couple other people maybe watching it with me and to give me unbiased opinions, right?
Yes, someone whose job doesn't depend on saying
you, even though I'm paying you.
But I still have to accept if you say, oh my God, you sucked so bad in that, you have to do it over.
Yeah. I mean, I think that if you're going to be a writer, director, actor in a film, you like that comes with the territory, I would think.
Have to be able to accept criticism.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you think about it, you're saying your own words, doing your own things the way you want to. You have to have someone that can come in and say,
yeah, you wrote it great, but what if you did this instead?
Or that entrance was amazing, but what if you tried it like this? I just think that would be a difficult thing to do. So I'm impressed with how she did it. You didn't feel like she was overgrandizing herself or anything.
No. And we said she was in 90% of the film, but you don't get the feeling that she's hogging screen time, right?
Right.
It's her story. She's the main character, right?
And she's not lit beautifully and everyone else is lit poorly.
Correct.
Or anything like that.
And she wears her costumes are much more simpler than the other people in the
right. So that's well done too, I think, in a general sense. I know you have to cast actors in these things, but are you casting like your buddies? Hey, I'm doing a film. You want to do it? Or,
I don't know. If I was doing an independent film, I would.
But if those are your friends, are they going to listen to you? Because they're your friends, and then you're the boss, and they're like,
have to, wouldn't it? It's my fucking film.
Yeah, but if you fired them, you'd have to start over.
Okay. And?
Well, I'm just saying, money-wise, it might be difficult. Ours would end up as a Plan 9 from outer space, not like this one with our friends.
Yeah.
The things that I noticed that were used over and over, and I already mentioned bare feet.
Mm-hmm.
Also scissors.
Yes.
She's a seamstress, but there were scissors throughout, in
Makes
flashbacks
sense.
And, lots of other places. And also, I don't know if you noticed this, but there was a lot of gray blue makeup, even on her feet one time. There was a cool shot where she's getting out of bed and they're shooting from under the bed and her feet hit the floor.
Mm-hmm. That was very early. And that's one of the first scene I thought was very well done.
Where you're thinking, okay, this is going to be better than I expected and I will say that floor was
what is
spotless.
Under the bed? That's what I thought. What is under the bed? Yeah. There's no dust bunnies, were there?
There is nothing. That is not what the shoot would look like if it was in my room. But when her feet...
No dust bunnies and no dog hair.
Right. When her feet hit the floor, there was like this grayish tinge to them. So I almost didn't know if it was her feet or someone else's feet, but so I didn't know if that was purposeful or not. But again, bare feet, but with this certain makeup that was this bluish gray kind of thing. I did pull out one quote for Greg that...
Me?
Yeah, for you. The aunt, as she's about to expire. That's not really that big of a spoiler.
Yeah, she's on deathbed when the film opens. So.
Yeah. Stay strong in the Lord. Evil is lurking. Actually, it's probably for me around you.
True, Karen, true. Yeah, I do remember that quote. Can I ask you a question, though, about the ending without spoilering it too much?
Can you? I don't know. Let's see.
Let's see. Do you feel like in the end, Anna was a sympathetic character?
It depends on how you view her, how much control you think she had.
Yeah. So
I think she
commenting on that, reading the release notes and whatever, I knew that she had some power, right? And I kept waiting for her to wield that power like I would, Karen.
Well, some people aren't evil like you. It simmers below the surface. It's not out all for on display. I think that goes back to the thing in the beginning where there are people who choose to accept the curse and utilize it, or there are people who try to reject it.
Yeah, to utilize it meaning use it for their own well-being, and
I think so. Accept it and become powerful.
And perhaps become one of the social elite that she is trying to rub shoulders with.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
To further advance yourself, right?
Yes, you either accept or reject.
Yes.
But if you reject, they try to make you accept. So it's a battle. You and I, Greg, we would have just been like, all right, come on in. Go on in, do your best.
I felt sympathetic for her at the end, even after we know everything. Right?
Well, again, I think it's about how much control.
Okay. It's not too spoilerish, is it?
I don't know. I hope not.
If we were giving this a cocktail rating, Karen, what would you give it?
Oh, I think it's a 3.
I agree.
I finished watching it and thought that was good. And I also thought,
that wasn't a waste of my time. I didn't hate it. Right.
But I kind of want to watch it again after the ending to see what I missed.
Okay.
I caught things. I think I caught a few things in the beginning, like that I knew was heading towards something.
Yes, you told me prior to recording.
But I wonder if there are other things.
True.
It's like watching The Sixth Sense or something. You get to the end and you're like, I bet I missed a bunch of stuff in there. Because you're just enjoying the movie. You don't know a twist is coming.
True.
I mean, if no one told you about The Sixth Sense, which I did not know when I
did not know about it either. Yeah, I didn't.
And so I was like, dang.
Yeah, me too.
And this was a little like that too. I had an inkling that something was going to happen, and it did, but I probably missed things prior to that would have shown me what was happening. So it's clever in that way. But I don't think you should watch it looking for things. I think you should watch it and enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't watch it looking for things. As a matter of fact, like most of the time I'm thinking, well, I was kind of watching it like it's a drama, right? Which it kind of was.
Soap opera-y.
Yeah. I was just going with
it. Not in a bad way, but in like stories.
Mm-hmm.
You were watching your stories.
I wasn't waiting for it. I mean, there was enough
going on.
And gore and all that stuff and murder and mayhem to keep me interested. And nudity to keep me interested,
to make you think something's going to happen.
But then when it happened, I'm like, oh shit, okay. My only real criticism is it might have taken 10 minutes too long to get there, because I was getting ready to clock out until it happened.
Well, probably because it was getting confusing.
But once it happened, I was like, oh, okay, here we go.
So yeah, I'd say definitely see it when it comes out.
I agree. And
I don't have any problem saying to our listeners, I think you would enjoy it.
And especially if it's available on Amazon Prime and you have 48 hours to watch it, and you can watch it twice maybe in 48 hours. Maybe watch it once and then watch it again to see what you missed. If you did, I don't know, because we don't know. We haven't watched it twice.
Maybe we'll watch Greg it 3 times.
Maybe we'll actually pay and watch it when it comes out, Karen.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
August 4th.
From Pasha Entertainment.
Yes.
Heir of the Witch. Maybe this is why you don't go. What's that show where they go back and find your ancestors?
Where did I come from, or something like that? It's called.
Maybe you don't
Who
want
am
to do.
I?
Yeah, who am I or whatever. Maybe you don't want to do that.
Well, it's always good to know, Karen.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, if you're going to take advantage, if you're going to take advantage like you are, but
like I would.
Yes, if hypothetically anything like that was in your background, which
knowing
you, it probably isn't.
I find some old literature written in
blood,
a strange red liquid with lots of symbols that I can read. That's the important part there, that I can read. Because, if it's in Latin or something, I have to call you and say, what does this say? What does this mean?
I was just thumbing through this book and found these Latin words. Can you tell me what they mean? It wasn't a demonology book or anything like that.
But let's not confuse anybody. This isn't like Latin stuff.
No, it's not. No. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's just that usually it is, right, Karen?
Yes.
That might be another feather in this film's cap. It's not traditional Catholic Latin Christianity.
True.
Crap.
It's straight up witch.
Ah.
It's old school. Well, it's Moldovan folklore. Mm-hmm. That's Eastern Europe.
Strigoico, right? Strigoico.
It's as close as I can get. I've heard that word before.
I feel like I have as well.
I do have Eastern European background.
Well, there you go, Karen.
Maybe I should do 23andMe.
Find out you're from Africa.
Well, it's better now. It's much better than it used to be, yeah.
Okay, Dr. Karen, you would know. Anything else we need to cover, Karen?
Good special effects, good story, good acting. It's worth a watch. Yeah. Solid 3 from us.
Solid 3.
So we'd love it if when it comes out, when?
August 4th.
August 4th, Heir of the Witch. If you'd give it a watch and let us know what you think.
Absolutely. Comment wherever you're listening to this podcast. It's a Friday, August 4th, Karen.
Yeah, get a group together, pop some popcorn, see what you think.
Yeah. Everyone throwing a few cents and...
Yeah. Take a collection.
Stream it. I'm sure available on most streaming services.
And then email Greg at scaryspirits.com and tell him what you saw that he obviously didn't.
Yes. Or to comment on whatever you found this, social media, whatever.
Yeah, we don't care. Just let us know.
We're everywhere.
Yes, we are.
And we should thank Pasha Entertainment, Karen, for reaching out to us and asking us to do this.
For making us feel special.
I know.
Not many people do that.
I feel like a prom queen, Karen.
Aw. Heir of the Witch, August 4th. Go watch it.
2023. Anything else, Karen?
Please drink responsibly.
Yes.
Thanks so much for listening. Want to keep in touch? Check out our website, scaryspirits.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Scary Spirits Podcast. Find us on YouTube at Scary Spirits Podcast. If you have questions or comments, you can email us at info@scaryspirits.com. To help us grow the podcast, you can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We really do appreciate your support. And as always, please drink responsibly.